someone out. That's weird. Oh. All right, I think it's recording. So if people aren't able to get in, it will be like I can maybe upload it to YouTube or something. This way, if we do these, that's the only thing I didn't like with live videos. Like you have to be here, and there's only like 10% of you here from the 3 classes. There's like 13 people out of 90 something. But I figured out a way. Google Meet has a record option, so we'll see what happens. I tested it out on like a 2-second video. I'm not sure if we'll be able to handle like if we go on for 20, 30 minutes, but we'll see. I forgot to record like the first 10 minutes, so that's secret to you guys. No, Irene, you're missing something. Grace, where's your brother? Don't know. What is that noise that keeps popping? Take a minute, try the one on your screen. We'll go over it in about 27 seconds. What's that noise? Oh, someone's joining. Mike, Mike, Mike. Hot Mike, hot Mike. Mike.
Hi.
Mike. Angela, will you be able to mute your mic if you press the button that looks like... Why is mine gone? What? You press the mic button. You're really loud. Mute your mic.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Whew. I'm wearing headphones, so it's like super loud. You type very aggressively too. All right. Let's try this one. I think we've given it enough time. So, a big thing in the video was this idea that even though this one's going to work out nicely, I see that, hey, CTS only works when A is 1. There's a 2 there. Everything's even, so I'll just divide it out. We have to kind of maintain it. We can't just throw it away. Like if this was equal to 0 and it was just like an equation, we would just literally divide out a 2 and not care about it anymore. But with this, we kind of have to put it off to the side for the time being because we want to be able to put it all back and have it be an exact match. We don't want to just, if we don't do that, let me phrase it that way. If we don't do that, we're going to get a similar function. It might have some things in common with the original one, but it's not going to be the exact same. Because at the end of the day, we want the exact same graph, just written differently. We want 1/2 equals 2/4. We don't want something that's been changed, okay? So I am going to divide everybody by 2 first. Oh, what happened? I'm going to divide everybody by 2 first. Now, on the left, I can't actually do that math. It's just literally saying g of x or y divided by 2, so just leave it like that. And on the right, I'm going to write x squared plus 18x plus 50. Okay? Now I'm going to move the constant over. with CTS, I like to always get rid of the constant. Now is the stage where we say to ourselves, hey, what number are we going to add to both sides? Keep in mind the minus 50 here doesn't go over 2. That wasn't being divided by 2. We already actually divided the constant by 2, and that's why 100 became 50. So now what number are we adding to both sides? What number are we adding to both sides? In this problem, 81. Very good, Sophie. Half of 18, 9 squared is 81. So I'm going to add 81. I like to write it right under the constant. Over here, you could just add it in that blank spot. Okay. The minus 50 is now going to become negative 50 plus 81 is plus 31. And now I should be able to write it as some binomial squared. What adds to 18 and multiplies to 81? Remember, this should always be half. X plus 9. Yep. Okay, and now we've technically completed the square, but now is this like, let's put it all back the way it was and pretend we didn't like do anything. So now I'm going to move the 31 back over. I'm just going to tack that on the end. How should I do this? Okay, that's gone. So I move the 31 over. Remember, I can't really do any operations with the x plus 9 squared. I can't like add that minus 31 in. If I'm multiplying, I can't like multiply. It's being squared, so it kind of stays like its own private thing. And now I have to get rid of that dividing by 2. So how do I get rid of dividing by 2? I'm going to multiply by 2. And very important here, the entire right-hand side gets multiplied by 2. So the bubble, even though I can't actually distribute it, I'm just going to stick it out front. So the bubble's been multiplied by 2, as well as the 31. That I could actually do the math, and I'm going to write it as 62. It's minus 62, I believe, right? So I wonder what plus 62. I think it's minus. I'm messing up somewhere. I think so. And that's it. So where's the vertex here? The vertex, so just abbreviate. What is the vertex of this? Where is the vertex of this? Silent. Where is the vertex? Oh, I wasn't scrolling down. I was like, why is no one saying anything? Negative 9, negative 62. Negative 62, negative 62. Okay, let's do a quick calculator check. I'm going to clear out everything that's there. And I'm going to type my original and my answer. So the original was 2x squared plus 36x. And I'll try to post a link for this if you were in here earlier, or if you just Google TI Smart View. It's basically a computer version. It's literally a TI-84. It's not a like a similar looking one. If you notice, like it's a legit TI-84. You can download it for free for 6 months. You have to pay for it, but they're doing that because of the online learning and stuff. 2 parentheses x plus 9. I'm typing in my answer and the original, and hopefully these should be the same. Very likely I messed up. So let's see. Oh, we have a match. So these are the same. I didn't make any mistakes. If I hit graph, I would only see one graph. Boom, boom. Goes from blue to red because they're tracing over each other. Good way to check if you did this correctly. So let's go back to look over our work here. Where was like the weird step? This one is where most people get confused when they bring back that multiple. Some mistakes, forgetting that this guy gets multiplied by 2. More so when it's like not even a number. A negative is a common one. So let's say we divided by a -1 to start. I think that was like the second example in the video. We would then make that minus 31 plus 31. It's a little bit more obvious when it's a number that you're supposed to distribute to the binomial and to the constant if there is one. But when there's just a negative sign, really a negative one, that's where some people have an error. Hold on. What did that say? Trying to catch up on the comments here. Give me 1 second. Oh, you know what? Let me put one up. And while I do that, ooh, this is a spicy one. Okay. My handwriting has suffered over these past 2 weeks. Given that h of x is equal to x squared plus 10x plus 8, convert to vertex form, and then use that answer to identify the exact value of the roots. Whoa. So we'll talk about what that means. You guys can start by writing in vertex form, and then we're going to use that to find the roots. Let me catch up. What's going on? There's like a lot of relevant conversation. Am I getting alerts that people are? It's weird that it stated exactly 13 people. Oh, my phone died. Do we have anyone from? I'm trying to think if I forgot to post a link in a class. We have people from all three classes, right? 22, 23. Anyone from 23? Yeah, 24. Okay. Why do we just have exactly 13? Someone just left. Huh. That's weird. So try this one right in vertex form and try to think what I'm getting at with the second part. What are the exact value of the roots? What is the exact value of the roots? What does the word exact value mean? Is anyone listening to me? Try this one out. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. Right back. Yeah. Where's that? If you click on my camera, my dog here for a moment, as long as I can keep her attention. Let's see. Ow. Good girl. All right, so let's start here. We'll tackle the second part where it says exact value in a moment. Let's start just by doing this in vertex form. And no one's brought this up yet, but certainly a way you can cheat with vertex form a little bit if you're asked to convert to it. If I just find the vertex of h of x, maybe my formula, playing around my calculator, I can kind of know what my answer should look like. In other words, not just going to be like some random numbers. I know the vertex is going to be featured in it. So you can kind of cheat that way. Maybe if there's four choices on a multiple choice question, you can eliminate some just by knowing where the vertex should be. The only downside to that would be problems where there's like a coefficient out front, then you'd have to look for that and a few other factors as well. But you kind of cheat a little bit with questions like this. All right, so let's start. I'm going to move the 8 over. I'm going to add this magic number to both sides. In this case, it's going to be half of 10 squared is 25. Add 25 to both sides. H of x plus 17. That's going to give me x plus 5 squared. I'm going to move the 17 back over. That's minus 17 now. And we didn't mention this, but another way you can check, you can expand it. You could do box method, combine your like terms, and just make sure that you get the same thing. Did we get this in vertex form? Did we get this in vertex form? Cool. So now, what did it mean where it said exact value? No. Whoever landed with the decimals, no. So what it meant was, and that's the key word, exact. So Landon, you just gave me decimals, right? If I use like the zero feature on my calculator, if I do like, some other type of strategy, at the end of the day, even if it gives me 20 decimals, it's not going to be exact. I'm telling you right now, this actually has irrational roots. So what's the only way that I can represent an irrational number exactly? By writing it in its radical form. Like, for example, radical 2 is like 1.4 something, right? If I just write 1.4, that's not an exact value. The exact value of radical 2 would just be radical 2. That's the only way that I could actually represent its value. Anything else is going to be rounded slightly. All right, so let's do this. Roots are where the function equals 0. I'm going to solve this now. So this is using the square root property from Wednesday. I added 17, hit both sides with the square root right away, plus minus, so you don't forget. You get a canceling taking effect. I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides, put the plus minus in the middle. And that's it. My two roots, the exact value would be -5 plus rad 17 and -5 minus rad 17. That's an exact value. There's no rounding. It's not cut off. You can figure out what the decimal equivalent is. That's great, but that's the exact value of the roots. So in short, exact value, radicals. Any decimal would be a rounding, an approximation. Oh, my laptop. That would be really bad. I'm dying here. Question questions with this one. Cool. And we'll do one more. Do I have one more? Two more? One more. Da, 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 da. Okay, try this one. Convert it from standard to vertex form. I do like BTS. BTS playlist, I believe. Let's see. I can't hide this without you guys seeing it. First thing that pops up. That was not me. I don't listen to music on my computer. That was not me. I listen to music on my phone. How is the I've from what complaints I've heard about Google Meet, people say it's laggy, the quality stinks. How is the audio and video quality in this? Is it okay? Is it like a little laggy? Is it choppy? Pretty good. It's bad? Or on an iPhone, it's good. Maybe it depends. We don't have that many people in here. I'm not sure if we had like all 100 people how it would be, but this is also a screen record. Has to do with is laggy with Rankin. Yeah, I'm not sure. Was Rankin doing like a video of himself or a screen recording? Video of himself. Could be his maybe his like Wi-Fi was he was in like a bad spot because it's like wherever the host is could make it laggy or not. There's a lot of people, yeah, probably. That too. So we're good now at 12, but if we had 100 more, probably not as good. X equals 4.5 squared. Huh? What's up, Brendan? Give everyone another minute. Brooke, come here. What happened? The dog's crying. Come here. Come here. She does that when she wants to go outside. She probably sees like a squirrel or something. It's a girl. All right, so last one. And let's get started here. So what's different about this one? Glitching? Nothing's happening. Huh? I'm not ready. What's different about this one? We have an odd b value. So when we do, yeah, we're gonna have a decimal, or I actually like to keep it as a fraction. I'll explain why. Nothing wrong with decimal. So I'm gonna move the 12 over. M of x minus 12 equals blah, blah, blah. Okay, now I'm gonna actually do this off to the side. Half of b. Now this is where a lot of people would use their calculator and say like, oh, 4.5. They do the 9 divided by 2, they have the decimal, they square it, and then they get whatever that is as, an actual decimal. I actually like to keep it as a fraction. One, because you could oftentimes do it with mental math rather than having to keep track. It's probably a little bit harder to square a decimal than to square a fraction. Because when I square a fraction, it's the same as me multiplying or squaring the top and the bottom. So this number is going to be 81 over 4. If you did it as a decimal, I believe that's what, 20.25? Yeah, so either way, I like to keep it as a fraction. Doesn't really make a big difference, to be honest. Okay, on the right, probably need to use a calculator here anyway. 12 is 48 over 4. Geez, negative 48 over 4 plus 81 over 4 is something. That's what? 33 over 4? And now this is where knowing that trick really helps. Remember we said this is always going to be half. So what's half of 9? 9 over 2, or 4.5. What happened? Yeah, 33 over 4 is the same as 8 and a quarter. Yep. And this is where, like I said, this would probably be a hard sum product to do if you didn't know this relationship, if you didn't know this idea of, we split B up into 2 equal parts. So what's half of 9? 9 over 2. You can put a plus 4.5, that doesn't matter. Same thing. And now my last step is to move the 33 over 4 over. And that's it. For people that did do decimals, let's see, what is that? 4.5. Don't ever write a mixed number. Don't write like 4 space 1/2. Either do improper or decimals. And this was, what did we say, 8 and a quarter? Brooke, 1 second. And we get the vertex to be negative 4.5 and negative 8 and a quarter. Remember we said the idea of IHOP. So if it says a plus sign inside the parentheses, inside the bubble, we're going to treat that as a negative. Okay, and I'm not going to go through it again, but you would type this into y equals, type your answer and type the original question, verify that the tables match to prove that you did it correctly. You could cheat a little bit, like we said. I can, let's say I had no idea what to do in purple, all the stuff I just wrote in purple, I had no idea how to do any of that. I could find the vertex for m of x using the formula, using like the little calculator, tricks and cheats that I've been doing before. And then I can kind of gives me a hint about what my answer should look like. If I realize the vertex was negative 4.5, negative 8 and a quarter, maybe that kind of gets the ball rolling for me. And I can kind of find the answer indirectly that way. All right, hopefully this was helpful. The people that weren't here are going to have a very interesting video to watch possibly, but thank you for the 14 or so people that were in here, in and out of here. And yeah, I kind of like this. I think I like this better than YouTube Live. We'll try out Zoom next week, and then I'm going to make the decision moving forward which one I like best. I used to like YouTube Live, but now I have to use like a webcam, and it's messy, and the picture kind of stinks. This is a screen record, so it's literally just my laptop. Like this is like literally my laptop. And I have my iPad plugged in. It's pretty easy. The only bad thing is I can't see the main part of this screen because it'll make like a tunnel for you guys. I'll try zoom out, and then we'll use these. I'll have these with like some of the harder lessons. These are usually in the past pretty difficult lessons, but it seems like you guys are doing pretty well because you had a little exposure in sixth grade with CTS and quad formula we'll have coming up next week. But some of the people that were in non-G&T last year, this is new, so I do want to have these videos available for you guys. A lot of people in the comments from what I read this morning are saying that I think a big thing is that this isn't everyone's favorite with the situation that we're all dealing with here. You'd rather be in school, but people are saying that they do like the videos for math. The idea of like pausing and stuff is kind of helpful, even though it's never going to replace being in person. But it seems like the videos are helping with some of these harder lessons. Hopefully, these reviews are helpful. And yeah, any questions before we leave? I'm going to turn off the present part. Let me practice doing this. Turn off present, and then it should just be me. Hi, cool. Can you see me? Can you see me? Okay. What was I just saying? Hmm. Totally lost my train of thought. Um, yeah, it's difficult with these. I usually decide in the morning because I don't usually know my schedule for the day and stuff like that. I know these don't take that much time, but I have personal stuff going on and things like that. But yeah, I'll try to give you a little bit more notice if possible. I usually try to give you a few hours. I think I posted this like at 10 or 11 today that hey, it'll be happening at 1. And the nice thing if you missed it earlier is the fact I was recording this and still recording. So I'll play around with that. But if you're not here, which 80 people are not, and this wasn't you're never like required to join these. But if you were like, oh, I had to run out to the store, I wasn't able to join it, you should be able to watch everything we just did. Hopefully, we'll see. Any other questions? I'm trying to think what I was saying earlier. Huh. No thanks. My dog is like on the other side of the house. Give me 1 sec. I'll see if I can get her. Where's Dad? Where's Dad? All right. But yeah, she looks really scared. Well, and there, hopefully this was helpful. We'll do some more videos next week. I want to try out Zoom. A lot of people told me about Zoom. I think it's similar to this, but we'll see. And then we'll continue with how the schedule was for next week. Everyone have a great, you sleeping? Everyone have a great, safe weekend. Enjoy, and bye bye.